Talk about it. How are they the same? How are they the same? How are you the same?
They have 4 sides.
Alrighty. Let's be quiet. Listen up. Now just raise your hand. Give me some. How are they the same? Raise your hand for this. I'll point to you. There's at least 3 ways these are the same. Raise your hand. Give me one. They have 4 sides. What else? Yes. What else? What's that? The rhombus has parallel sides, but not the kite. These are not parallel in a kite. They look like it a little bit, but not necessarily. Give me another way besides 4 sides. How are these the same? They're both quads, so they're called quads. They have 4 sides. They're called quads. What else?
Oh, that what they call it?
Which angles? Well, here the rhombus has opposite angles congruent, and in a kite, these 2 angles are congruent, but not the other way. So you at least have one set of congruent angles, yes? What else? How are these the same? Yeah, give me another one. Yes, this is the most important one. They make a right angle with the diagonals. How many of you drew that in? How many of you drew it in? If you didn't, draw it in now. That's the most important one. Perpendicular diagonals. Just remember, that gives you a right angle, and once you have a right angle, you could do all that right triangle stuff. Okay, that's one style of question. Now, here's another style of question. I'd like you to circle the parallelogram and the trapezoid. And now, again, how are they different? Talk about it. How are those different, one compared to the other? Go. Put it in words, dear. Put it in words. Alright, guys, I'll take volunteers. Raise your hand. How is a parallelogram different than a trap, or a trap different than a parallelogram? There's several of them. Several. Give me one. Yes. That's the main difference. A parallelogram has 2 sets of parallel sides, whereas a trapezoid only has 1 pair. Parallelogram has 2 pairs. That's one main difference. Give me a couple others. How are they different? Trap to parallel or parallel to trap? One or the other. Raise your hand. There's more. There's like 5.
Their names are different.
Their names are different. Different names. That works for me. What else? Don't overlook the obvious. That's what happens. Names are different. Sides are different. Parallel versus unparallel. At this point, the colors are different. Obviously, they're different shapes. Yes. Yeah, that's true. You're right. I just got sarcastic. I apologize. Yes, they're different shapes. Opposite sides are congruent here. Are opposite sides congruent in a trap? No. Okay. So that's one style of questions. Here's another recap. You're going to work as a team. You're going to have a rapper and a response. Say rap and respond. Rap and respond. So one person in your team, whoever has a good sense of beat, is going to be the rapper, then everybody else will respond. This is how it works. Listen, I'm going to do the first one. So pretend we are one giant group. I'm the rap, you're the response. Ready? Listen. Listen. I start. To slide. Add to the left, add to the right. You respond. To slide. Add to the left, add to the right. So it goes like this. The rapper says it once, and then the team responds. And then once you guys get kind of a beat going back and forth, go through all of these, start from the top, choose your rapper, and everybody else is the responder. Go top spot, go. I'm so serious. You're going to miss out on a view if you don't do this. silence. I don't hear a single team doing this. Alright guys, wrap that through. Ready? You have a whiteboard on your desk. I want you to flip that whiteboard on top of your desk. You might need to move your stuff around. Get the whiteboard on your desk, please. Whiteboard on your desk. Get the whiteboard on your desk, please. You might need to move some stuff around. Whiteboard on the desk. Alright. We're going to be doing something with these tiles that I have found over the years that if I don't give you guys playtime, you're going to play and ignore me when I ask you to do. I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes of playtime. Here's the rules of playtime. Listen. After 15 minutes, you will dismantle whatever you have on the table. And as beautiful it is, which means this, I actually want you to take pictures of your beautiful design. And if you think you got a great design, I want you to email it to me, please. Okay, ready? You have 15 minutes of playtime. Go. Two things. Hold up 2 fingers, please. 2 fingers. Hold up 2 fingers. When you leave today, there are 2 main ideas I want you to remember. Say the word 2 things. First thing. Light, please. Go ahead. First thing is to be able to define the term tessellation. Define the term tessellation. I'll tell you what the second thing is. We'll figure it out in about 10-15 minutes. So I'd like you to write this out. Basic definition of a tessellation is a repeating. You're writing this down. We're on page 2. A repeating mosaic pattern of interlocking shapes. No gaps or spaces. A repeating mosaic pattern of interlocking shapes, no gaps, no spaces. A repeating interlocking pattern of mosaic interlocking shapes, no gaps, no spaces. This is the definition of a tessellation. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Let's say spots.
Spaces. The key words here are the words repeating, has to be repeating, and interlocking. There are 2 main kinds of tessellations, regular and semi-regular. Regular is a single repeating, interlocking shape. A single repeating interlocking shape. You see the triangles there, the white and green triangles. It's just a single triangle. Many of you guys actually doodle in tessellations in your margin if you do like one of these numbers with squares. Or some of you do triangles like this. Okay? That's a tessellation. That's a regular tessellation, single repeating. If you have 2 parts or more, put a little plus sign. 2 parts or more repeating.
Oh my God.
We'll be picking that up later. That's why I told you guys to put them on the ground. Repeating, interlocking shapes. That's called semi-regular, 2 or more. 2 or more. You see here the 2 shapes. You have hexagons and triangles. Regular hexagons and triangles. They're interlocking. It's repeating. So I'm going to show you several slides, and I want you guys to do a quick recap in your groups. What semi-regular, regular, or semi-regular. Take a look at this. Look at it very carefully. Talk about it in your groups. I'll give you about 10 seconds.
You are so mean. Can I get some?
Oh, that's easy.
All right. How many of you think regular? Raise your hand. Regulars, raise your hand. Semi-regulars, raise your hand. A couple of you said, don't chicken out now.
Regular.
Okay. Technically, it's still the same shape even though it changes sizes, so we would call this regular. We would call it regular, but maybe you were thrown off because of the difference of size. Okay, cell phone away. Do you have someone? You don't have your cell phone out?
No.
Oh,
Don't lie.
So apologize. Okay, take a look at this. Regular or semi-regular?
No regular.
Regular.
No semi-regular.
You see two or one shape? Two.
I see the white angel.
Some of you are just now saying it. This is called MC. Actually, this is called Angels and Demons. Do you see both?
What's it that?
Yeah. Look at the white space. Isn't that cool?
Oh!
Now you see it. Yeah. All right. What about this one?
Go back.
Semi-regular.
What are you talking about?
Angels. All right. What about this? Yep, that one's right over there. You could argue both ways, possibly. Here, semi-regular. What about this one?
That was in here too.
Yep, it is.
Where?
No, not this one. We got the lizards in the back. This, you could call this regular. If you're looking just right here, you could see the dark and the white. Griffiths, but then if you add the tiles as well, that could be considered semi-regular. Okay, here's the pavement in the Taj Mahal. What do you think? Yes, semi. Because we have the stars here. I was there this summer. We're going to be coming back to this pavement in a little bit. What about this one here? I didn't take that picture.
You're going back there?
I went there this summer. What about this? Semi or regular? Semi. Yes, this is a tessellation. Look at the definition. Great design, but is this a tessellation? No. Why not? Yeah, you remember the definition of tessellation is interlocking, which means no gaps, no spaces. We'll be coming back to your designs. Let me just power through all of them. Is that a tessellation?
Yeah.
No, because there's gaps and spaces.
Yes! I do that.
The chicken, okay? Okay, we have that one. We did this one. This one. Possible tessellation here in the middle. All right. There's that one. This one. Okay, tessellations on the right, but gaps on the other side. This one. We'll be coming back to that. That would be a semi-regular tessellation. All right. So, in your teams, quickly, I told you there's two things you're going to learn today. The first thing is to define tessellation. Everybody in your team must complete this sentence. A tessellation is, and then complete the sentence. Every person take 10 seconds to go. Say it.
Tessellation.
Without looking at your notes. Great. Students, on stage.
This way?
Yes. Students, pull out, from your bucket, pull out one yellow, one red, one green, one orange, one blue, one white. Go, one of each. Pull out one of each per team. Go, quickly, one of each. One yellow, one red, one blue, one white. Go! Not each person, just one of each, guys. One of each. Ready? I want you to start tracing. Start tracing, please, these shapes. Guys, cell phones. Get your hands off your cell phones. There's no reason for you to have cell phones right now. Hands off your cell phones. You can keep them on your desk. We'll use calculators later. Okay, start tracing. Take two, start tracing. Take one at a time. That's two, that's trace. I know. Trace, one trace. Trace one of each. One of each. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry. Watch. Yellow, trace, red, trace. Yep, trace. You guys know what you're doing? Trace one of each. Trace one of each. Split one of each. You guys got my idea? Yeah, you got it. Okay. Students, trace one of each quickly. Share the shapes. Doesn't have to be utterly perfect, but I would like you to share the shapes here. Alright guys, you should be almost done with your tracing because there's a part 2 here. Okay, everybody needs a protractor in your hand, please. Everybody needs a protractor in your hand. Get a protractor out, please. All right. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to measure all the angles here. You work as a team. Each person take maybe 2 shapes and work your way down. Those of you who forgot how to measure with protractors, everybody look up here one time. Ready? Look, follow, do what I do. Watch eyeballs. I'm looking for eyeballs. Eyeballs. Ready? Watch, repeat after me. Elbow, arm, eyeball, right. Do it with me. Ready? Add. Elbow, arm, eyeball, right. This is how you use the protractor. Watch. Step number 1, you find the elbow of the angle, and you line up the 0 point of your protractor. Let's everybody do the yellow. Everybody should have the yellow. Let's do it together. That way, that's 1 down. You don't have to do it. All right? Line up the elbow at the elbow with the 0. Ready? 2. Line up 1 arm of the angle with the flat part. So watch what I'm doing. I twist, elbow, arm. Okay, elbow, arm. Line up 1 arm with the flat part. Okay? Step 3, eyeball. Look at the angle here. This angle right here. Let me highlight it in pink. See that? You ask yourself, is that bigger or less than a corner?
Bigger.
It's bigger than a corner, so you have a choice between 60 and 120. What are you choosing?
60.
No, it's bigger than a corner.
20.
You're choosing 120 here, and because it's regular, it's 120 all the way around. So you don't have to measure everything. Okay, you are done with the regular hexagon. Ready? Divvy up the work. You have 2 minutes to get everything measured on this entire page. As a team, share your answers. Okay, each person take 1 or 2 shapes. Go.
I'll do the
I'll give you a hint, guys. All your answers are going to end in 0. So if you're reading something 121, it's 120. Okay? Everything ends with a 0.
Oh, so it's right here.
60.
Which one? Where? Okay, so now look. Do you see that that's bigger than a corner? A corner would be like that. Is this one bigger than a corner, so it's 120. Okay, so let's take a look here. Elbow, line up the elbow, elbow with the arm.
No, this one's called,
Elbow with the elbow. Line it up. Spin around, one arm at the end. Now, sweep that ankle. There you go. Now, look, technically, it's either 120 or 60, that's upside down. Okay, hang on, it's just left, that's why you eyeball it. That left in the corner or the right in the corner? Left, so bingo, 60. And since all three sides are equal, what if each is? Yeah. I have a question. Here, your eyeball is probably the you're no, it's not. What do you know on a Okay, students, divvy up the work. You should be almost done. Start sharing your answers. You got bottom there? Elbow.
So what is this? 90?
You're looking at this angle. You're in a corner or left? Right here. You're in a corner or left?
These hard.
Okay. Yes, it is. So look over here. You can choose right here. You choose 120 or 60. 150. This.
Yeah.
Okay, students. I'm going to be testing you guys for answers, so pay attention. All right, take a look up here. If your answers do not match with this, you're going to change them because I've pre-screened these, okay? All right, David, what'd you guys get there?
120.
120 is correct, and for this? Allie? 60 is correct. This is 60, 60, 120, 120. All right. Okay. Coming around this way. Kendra, what'd you guys get for all three of these? What'd you get for all three of these? 60 is correct. 60, 60, 60. Jenna, what'd you guys get for the square in the corner there, ma'am? 90. 90 is correct, all four. 90, 90, 90, 90. Okay, and then we had the blue rhombus. This team, what'd you get? 60, 120, 60 and 120 is correct. Okay, and then you had the white tile, so I'm going to use black edges. Back team, what'd you guys get?
30 and 150.
30 and 150 is correct. Okay, keep those in mind, guys. Now, turn the page, please. You're going to be coming back to this page. I'll explain why in a moment. All right. Repeat after me. Say one shape. Hold up one finger. Say one shape. Okay? Say 8 tiles. We're having issues with repeating after me. Ready? Say one shape. 8 tiles. 2 rows. Okay, let's say it out loud again. How many shapes? One shape, 8 tiles, 2 rows. Each of you pull out one shape, 8 tiles. I want you to make a 2-row tessellation with those 8 tiles. Okay? So choose. Everybody has different shapes. One shape, 8 tiles, 2 rows. Write it down. One shape, 8 tiles. Each of you choose a different shape. Each of you choose a different shape. Now you want 8 yellow. You want 8 orange. You want 8 red and 8 blue. Great. 8. Now, on your tabletop, I want you to make a 2-row pattern. Interlock your shades. Okay, build a tessellation with your shades. 2 rows. Perfect. Okay, now what I want you to do, okay, what colors do you want? I want you to get 8 of the red. Only the red. Special. Only the red. 8. You? Run down the pattern. Draw that there. Okay. Got it there? Excellent. Take that pattern and okay, now what you're going to do is that. Okay, write it over here. Take 1. Start drawing.
When you did it wrong.
Take 1 pattern. Good. That is perfecto.
How did you did it wrong?
Exactly right. Now what you're going to do is take 1, take 1 and draw that there. Draw it. Okay? So almost exactly. I want to do like that. Now, 1 okay, students.
I'm getting
Yeah, 1 time. 1 time. You guys got it? Yeah, I got okay?
How much is
Okay, so definition of tessellation: interlocking, no gaps, no spaces. Interlocking, no gaps, no spaces. That's correct. So for you, I'm going to slide this here. Start drawing exactly what you see. That's correct. Draw that right here. Take this and start drawing.
I never put
that way.
I put this on the face and never.
Yes. Take this. Start drawing. Because I want all the internal drawings. That's why we did like doing. Yes, but then I want the internal. Yeah. Start drawing what that is. Okay. No gaps.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Gaps in this way. Okay, students, you are drawing what's called a regular tessellation. Start drawing. We're drawing a regular tessellation. Yes, I mean. Yeah. Perfect.
You it'd be like this. Try to go down.
Students, as quick as you can, trace and draw. This should only take you a minute. And then I want you to write in all the angle measures from the previous side. Write in the angle measures. You already measured it, so you don't have to get your protractors out again. Okay, so start drawing. For every angle, yes, start drawing that there. Students, I am going to put a time limit of about 2 minutes on this, so start drawing.
You know what's for? What about our project?
Nobody said this.
All right, start putting your measurements in, please.
Right after.
Put the measures of your angles in, please. The measure of your angles, please.
There you go. What do we do now?
All right, so students, you should have something like this on your paper, except yours is much larger than mine since I just pre-drew these. All right, put your angle measures on there, and then I'm going to point something out to you.
There's no triangle in there.
You're right, I didn't have time to draw them all. Wonderful, that's great. All right, so what I'd like you to do, I told you there was two main things for you guys to learn today. The first thing was the simple definition of a tessellation. This is the second one. What I want you to do is sweep, watch everybody eyeball up here please. I'd like you to sweep one joint where all your shapes join like this. Look up here, look. Watch. For the trapezoids, one joint would be right there. For the blues, a joint would be there. For the yellows, their joint would be there. For the orange, the joint would be there. For the white, the joint would be there. I didn't take the time to do all of them. Okay, so circle one joint, please. Circle one joint on your paper. Now, fill out the angle measures at the joint from the previous side. Fill out if you know them. If you don't, look them up. Fill out the angle measures, please. Fill out the angle measures from the previous side. At the joint. Yeah, well, there's like a dozen joints there, Lucas. So right now we're just. All right. Now, last step. I'd like you to take whatever your joint angles are. I'd like you to add them up in the margin, please. So the diamond would look like this. See, I took all those joints, add them up. Squares would be like this. One joint. Okay, add them up. Whatever your joint is. Add them up. Add them up. Go. Whatever your joints are, add them up. Go. Okay, now I want you to read those three bullets out loud. Fill them out. Compare your answer with your neighbor's. Read these three bullets aloud and fill them out. Compare your answers, Kendra. Okay, Kendra, Polly, and Sam. Guys, compare your answers. When you get, I'll read these three bullets out loud and fill them out. Okay, compare your answers. Read these three bullets out loud and fill them out. Okay, guys, I want you to compare your joint addition answers. Read these bullets, fill them out. Compare. And I want you to read those bullets. Read those bullets out loud to your team and have the team fill them out. Did you guys compare your answers yet? Add. Good. Sweet.
Oh, that's why. Never mind.
Great. I'll give you the three bullets out loud and answer this question. Okay, did the three bullets out loud? Answer the question. Okay, Jana. Read those bullets out loud and answer the question. All right.
How come there's only on the yellow one? How come there's
Because that's 120, 120, 120. They're different shapes.
Oh, it's that.
I don't know because you're not looking at the angle shapes. Your 120 goes there. Here's another one. You weren't terribly precise in where you put your angles. All right. So, the main thing here is that when you add up all your joints, they add up all together. How much?
480.
No, your joints is 480? Really? I'll double check. Okay, should be what, guys? 360. I'm going to go over and check your math and see what happened. Okay, give me a second. All right, there. Should be 360. This is called a regular tessellation. So write regular tessellation. You write what you're supposed to write. Regular at 360. 360 should be your answer. All right? Okay. Now, turn the page. Bring your whiteboard back up on your desk because now you're going to work as a team. Whiteboard up on the desk. Whiteboard up on the desk, please. Because now you're going to work as a team. Okay. Whiteboard, back up. As a team, you guys are going to make one design. Listen carefully. You're going to choose two shapes, one design, repeating pattern. Two shapes. You choose any two shapes that fit together. You work as a team. Only one design. Look at the clock, guys. I am going to time this, and a team that does not finish, you're going to get a point docked, so pay attention. Because time's of the essence. You have 2 minutes to make a semi-regular tessellation with Hanson. The phone should not be out or it's mine. Okay. Don't look. Yeah. Looking. Thank you. Unless there's some emergency I'm not aware of. Thank you. All right, guys. Listen up. Two shapes, interlocking. I want at least 4 complete repetitions. You choose the shape. As a team, I only want 1 two-pattern shape on the board. Ready? You've got 2 minutes. Go. All right. You in charge. I just drawing me. Okay.
No, she told me 6 times 8. And I was like, okay, what do you do?
Students, I'm putting a timer on this. If you don't finish, I will mark you down. You've got 2 minutes. Perfect. Yeah, I want a row pattern. A row pattern. What? I want it not. You don't even have to draw it. I want the tile pattern on the whiteboard. I want a tile pattern on the whiteboard.
Doesn't matter what it is.
I want it in rows, not a circle. Rows. Rows. I want rows. No gaps in space. That's not a tessellation. Two shapes. I want to only see a repeating pattern. Right now I only see only 2 shapes. Is the white and the red interlocking completely? You're making no, you got gaps and spaces.
He's doing so much fun.
All right, that's a good example. So what I want you guys to do is start drawing back to that. You can free draw it. Free draw it. Okay, you take this. I like to free draw this. Free draw. Free draw. All right, guys, you get that? The white is very important. No, don't do it first. 48 Yes, you do. Start drawing that over here. Good. Guys, yeah, you have that. At least a couple repetitions. Start drawing this on this paper. Go. Start drawing that on that paper. Go. Start drawing. Good. 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 You don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, guys, you should now be drawing your pattern, whatever it is. I've gone around and observed you guys, so I'm adding. Okay, and then I saw yellow and red. Okay, what else do I have there? You guys got green. Let's see what else is out there. Alrighty, you should now, this is called a semi-regular tessellation on your paper, a semi-regular. Now what I'd like you to do is circle again one joint where the corners join on your paper, circle it. Circle it. I'm going to make this a little bit larger so you can see. Now pull those angles in from the previous page. Some of you are like this. You have the yellow and the blue. Some of you have the red and the yellow. Some of you have red and green. In the back, you guys had blue and green. Blue and red, I think. Yeah. Okay, ready? I'd like you to circle a joint. Now, fill in the angles of the joint, please. Fill in the angles from the previous page. You should recognize what these are. Now take your angles at one joint and start adding them up in the margin. You should know that from the previous page. The fat is 120, the skinny is 60. What do you get when you add up the joint? What do you get? No, you did correct. Just watch. Okay. What's that measure? That measures what? And that is also. And that is.
There's my
120, and this is. What's the length?
Add it up. Okay. They add to. Right here, that's 120. Right? So how do this? And that's not going to be. So they add up to? They add up to what? They add up to what? 360. Bingo. Alrighty guys, you should notice a semi-regular tessellation also adds up to 360. So that is the second trick. In order for shapes to tessellate, their corners must add up to 360. Now I'm going to have to ask you to do something very difficult. I need you to scoop the tiles up, put them in the tub. I want the tub with the protractors in the back, and I want this board next to your desk. Go, clean it up, and we're going to get started on what your sign-off page is. Okay, test in the back. Don't forget the protractor. Protractor's on the ground, guys. 4 to the side of your desk. Get out your calculator. Okay, touch the back. Get out your calculators, please. Well, I tilted it and then I Okay. Yes, you make use your phone, please. Get it. Yeah, you need everybody needs a calculator out right now. Okay, step number 1. All of these shapes here, this is your sign off today. Page 7 is your only sign off, so you can easily get this done. Now, I want you to do, we're going to do this in 2 steps. Step number 1, all of these shapes are regular. Underline the word regular. Above the word regular, write all congruent sides and angles. That's the definition of regular for shapes. All congruent sides and angles. So right above the word regular, you're writing that. All congruent sides and angles. Now we're going to do a little guessing game here. This is part of your effort today. I want you to imagine the paveway here at the Taj Mahal. Whoops, I have to go all the way back. Okay, that's why you're imagining. Okay, here we have the paveway at the Taj Mahal. The pavement here is a tessellation. I want you to imagine if those stones were this shape, this regular pentagon. I want you to just guess. I want you to put either yes or no right by the number. Do you think you can make a paveway out of this? If you think yes, you can make a pavement, say yes. If you think no, I want you to put no, and I want you to put a question mark by it because you don't know for sure yet. Right now, I just want you to guess.
Yes.
Next to each of those numbers, right next to the number, I want you to write yes or no. Do you think you can make a paveway out of that shape?
Wait, are we like regular or irregular?
No, it has to be regular. These are all regular, Amy. All regular. These are all regular. I just want you to guess. 1 through 8. Go. Guess. Right next to the number. All of them. Right? Yes or no? Yes, you're guessing. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. All the way. All 8. I want yes or no by the numbers. All 8. No, that's what I meant. Okay, so I want you to guess. Do you think you can make a paveway out of this regular shape? No. They will all fit together. In other words, would it fit together? Okay, then I'd like you to write the word yes.
Sure.
Now, number 2, do you think if you have a paveway fit together? Yes or no? Right now. Yes. That's right. All right. So all the numbers and writing yes or all of these. Okay? All right. Did you guess? Do you guys understand what I want you to do? Yes and all that.
Yeah.
Wow. Who is that? Good. Got it? Did you guess all of them? Okay. Step 2. Students, you should have yes or no for all of these. Ready? Now we're actually going to test. I want you to do 3 things for all of them. Put your pencil right there. Step number 1, I want you to count and name this shape. Go. Count and name it. Count and name. Put your pencil, touch it, write it. Physically touch each side. Okay. You're on the way. Okay, so this is write the word regular pentagon. Please put the word regular, because all of these are regular, because there are non-regular pentagon out there. You need to specify. Step 2 is I want you to find a single angle measure, and the way you're going to do that is using this equation. So we're going to go 5 minus 2 times 180 over 5. Do the math, find one angle, go.
5 minus 2?
5 minus 2 times 180 divided by 5. Go. In your calculators, go. We just did name it. I told you you're doing 3 things. You name, you find the angle. Okay, listen. 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times 180 divided by 5. Yes.
180.
I got 180.
180.
All right, you should have gotten 108
Got
there.
it.
So sweep it and put it right there. Now the third thing I want you to do is just write the word TESS. That's going to stand for tessellation. Now you're going to test it to see if that paveway would actually work here at the Taj Mahal. Most of you said yes to almost everything. Let's see if you're correct. Remember, the corners must add up to how much to tessellate? Remember 360? Everything added up to 360. So I want you to take 360 and divide by 108. That's what your corner is. You get 3.33 repeating, right? Is that an even number?
Yes.
Whole number. Is that a whole number? No. Guess what? This last, does it tessellate? The correct answer is no.
What?
A regular pentagon, if you try to make a paveway, these ladies are going to twist their ankles. You're going to end up with spaces between the bricks. A regular pentagon is going to create spaces between the bricks. Huh? All right. So, for all of these shapes, I want you to do all three. I want you to name it, find the angle, and then test to see if it tessellates. You're doing all three. The red, the green, the purple. When you're done with that, call me over and I'll tell you what step 2 is. Oh, look at this space here.
And